Welcome back to the channel. I'm sitting here in the editing process after the fact and doing the intro now because this video is a promise, it is chaos, and it is trying really hard to make the best out of the worst footage I have. Why am I doing this? Like I said, to keep a promise. The idea of today's video was taken from an article I read a couple of months ago, where this woman was explaining, and unfortunately our article's lost to the wind, so I couldn't tell you where or whatever, but it was explaining that her grandmother had used brown paper, like brown paper bags, to cool their cookies on her entire life growing up, and she realized that was the secret to her grandmother's cookies. And I wondered, is this a thing? If it's worth it, if it makes a difference, and all these, is it worth it on a sustainability level? Before we begin, the footage was the very first shot with the audio equipment. It was test footage. It cut out a lot. I was planning on making it into something, and then I wasn't going to. Some of the footage got lost. A good chunk of it has no audio. But I have a new video editor. I have a new computer. And we're going to take this old footage and we're going to make a cookie video because I promised my friend Tara that I would. So let's make cookies. Okay, so our ingredients, we got 2 sticks of butter, 2 eggs, 1.5 cups of dark brown sugar. I didn't have dark brown sugar, so I used light brown sugar, and I threw in an extra tablespoon of molasses just to give it more of that rich brown sugar flavor. 3 cups of mini pretzels, which we will chop, 2 1/4 cups of flour, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of baking soda, and we're going to use, I have to show off, that's why it's still in the bottle, vanilla made by my parents. And, of course, our baking truffles. So let's get this started. Okay, step 1. Chop 3 cups of mini pretzels. So we got our 3 cups here. I'm just gonna chop these up real quick. Or you could use an easier method, like just break it with your hands, Okay, so next I'm going to combine my dry ingredients. That's flour, salt, baking soda, and we'll just give that a quick stir and set that to the side. Now we're going to bring over our brown sugar, our butter, now I could have taken out the KitchenAid and done this, but I don't think that cookies necessarily need to be done by a mixer. I don't see why they can't be done by hand. Now, got that. Ooh, excuse me, sugar, back in your bowl. We'll add our vanilla. Ooh. We're going to add our eggs. Got this fabulous little whiskey glass I'm going to use to break my eggs. 1, 2, okay, and we'll put them in here. The rest of our wet ingredients. Okay, that looks good. Now from there, now you generally should, do the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients instead of the other way around. However,
really doesn't make much of a difference in that regard. And this was the bigger bowl. Okay. Now we've got to this point. This is where I would highly encourage you to take off your jewelry, wash your hands one more time, and then stick your hands in the bowl. Get the rest of that well incorporated. Now we're going to add our little truffles and our pretzels and give it another mix, and we should be good. Ooh, look at those. Those are fun. So, my teenage son Adric had the idea a short while ago that if you guys like this video, that I could do a experiment with the recipes on the back of Toll House bags, depending on what they are, since there are so many different kinds now, you know. So if we wanted a video of, you know, the mint ones or the, you know, multicolored ones, we'll do one on funfetti, that kind of thing. If anybody's interested in that, I'd be more than willing to do a little series like that. Just let me know in the comments if that's what you want to say, because I would love to hear requests from what other people want to see. I mean, I can be goofy all day long, it's what we do here, but I want to hear what you guys want to learn about. Or if you'd like to see me experiment with something. I've got ideas for experiments coming up in the future that have nothing to do with cookies, but we'll see what this, you know, where the day takes us. Okay. Oh, there we go. So we're going to scoop these out into uniform because we want to make this as even as possible. And you can't do a good experiment without it being, you know, even, right?
Hi, I just learned how to do this. If this worked right, I'm in a little corner in the top of your screen and I'm surrounded by cookie dough. A few rookie mistakes I made that I'll tell you during this part while we're waiting for Amy to prep her bag and get her cookies taken care of. Audio went because rookie mistake, battery died in one section and I didn't think to check it and I thought we were good and we weren't. And then we lost footage. I'm not exactly sure how that happened, probably because I was just recording really late at night and I thought I hit record and I didn't. I don't know, it was months ago. Anyway, so on a last mistake, I'm totally calling myself out on all my mistakes because, like I said, this is old stuff. This is stuff I've learned from, so don't critique me too hard on anything you see in this video today. I'm zoomed in way painfully too close. I know, watching this hurts. I'm sorry. It's hurting me too in editing. That mistake won't be made again on anything I've filmed from now on, and pretty much anything I filmed after this. I don't think I made as big a mistake with Zoom, but we're still working on it. Don't worry, Riley's calling me out on it. It's gonna be good. So they're going to naturally be harder than the ones that we're cooking at exactly 10 minutes. Okay, so we'll be back in 10 minutes. I just, look at this. Look at the grease coming out of these. I bet that's why. I just had to show you, like, the grease coming out of these is just incredible. So, the experiment again is cooling them on a brown paper bag versus plain old rack. So the next batch coming out, we're just going to put on the rack as much as possible. Yes, this channel is
got a little issue with cooling racks. Eventually, I hope to replace this. I know it's not a big expense, but you know, tight budget. I still don't have a new cookie sheet. It's been months. Maybe I'll be lucky. Maybe the Easter Bunny will bring me one. Anyway, this is my last pop-up from editing. Just wanted to say goodbye. Have a good one. Take care. Like, subscribe. And I'm going to let Amy and Joey tell you how the cookies turned out. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I made you cookies last night.
I see that.
All right.
There's a lot of them.
There is. We're going to now test to see if what this article said is true. Now, I had read it saying that this would make a crispier cookie. I've already tried it. I don't know if that's exactly true. I'm going to let you try one of each, one that was cooled on the cooling rack and one that was cooled on the brown paper. We'll see what you think. There's no difference. Literally, they were both cooked on cool racks, like they were put in on cool racks, 10 minutes each, so they're exactly the same cookie from the same recipe. Only difference is how they were cooled.
Okay. We'll try the one from the cooling rack first. Actually, let's do a little side-by-side comparison. Just off the bat, they feel about the same.
I don't know that there's any difference.
Well, maybe I should have got some that looked more even, because this one has a huge mound in the middle.
Uh-huh.
And I just bit into some chocolate chips, but this one feels a little bit more dried out.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this one still has a little moisture in the middle.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like the brown paper does dry it out a bit more.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. All right. So Adric had an idea last night, and I'm just going to throw this at you while we're standing here. He thought, because you bought all of these different bags of chips and he was watching what I was doing, he was thinking that a series for our channel, until we have regular people telling me what they'd like to see, what about just doing the Toll House recipes on the back of each different type of bag and seeing how they come out?
That could be fun.
Right. And my thought alternatively after he said this to me was, well, what if we did it so that we did the recipe on the back of the bag and exactly, and then I would do a follow-up that was me with the recipe, because we know I love to modify everything.
Sounds like a good idea. It could be fun.
Yeah. So that's just a thought.
Okie doke.
All right. So I'm going to try these cookies. I'm going to hand this to you, because I tried them late last night while I was half asleep after. I don't want a whole cookie. I just want to cut a piece off. Yep, you just watched me rip apart those two cookies. I did it. I think the brown paper actually makes a difference. But only really minute, slight one. If you weren't really paying attention, you would never know the difference. That's my conclusion.
Verdict, it is not worth the effort.
Okay, so the last thing I'm going to say on the matter before we say goodbye for this video is, for sustainability purposes, just stick with the cooling rack. It's fine. Bye, everybody.